No, lesson 2 or lesson 1 or 2. So last time we saw up to lesson 1, halfway up to lesson 1. So lesson 1 is Bhagavad Gita, the timeless science, in basically the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. And this is the Learn Gita, Live Gita course. So lesson 1 to lesson 7 will be in the final quiz competition. So as much as possible we can do, and I think it will not be on 18th, but it will be on 19th or 20th. I'm not sure which date is finalized still, but it might be between 18th to 21st of November, and they will take care of our Australian time, and accordingly they will adjust the final quiz competition. So I think mostly it will be on the weekend only. So 19th or 20th they will keep, so that they can easily take the quizzes. Okay. So in lesson 1 there is a setting of scene, Bhagavad Gita timeless science, and then it is an introduction part, and then they have given some viewpoints of how they take Bhagavad Gita in their lives, and how they progressed in life, like Mahatma Gandhi and Albert Einstein, and so, and then this Einstein's theory of gravitational law, we learned that although the oceans and the human beings are all on the earth, and the earth is a globe, and we can say that we are hung upside down on the earth, and still we are not falling outside in the space. How it is happening? So basically Learn Gita Live Gita is quite scientific course, because it is designed by IIT director Dr. Vida Purushottam Prabhu. So that's why it is a little bit more practical side of learning Bhagavad Gita. So it is described that it is because of the gravitational force of Earth. In the Earth's core, there is a very, very huge magnet in the Earth's core, and then because of that, this it attracts all, like every particle of Earth. It keeps stuck on the Earth. So even the human beings, animals, the ocean, and how ocean water is not overflowing inside the other parts of the world. And although the earth contains 3/4 part of water, then also the land is not inundated with the ocean water. How it is possible? And such a huge water body, still it's not getting overflowed. How? Because of the moon. So moon, because of moon, this ocean has the waves, and although there is a tide and there is less water, then but still it is not overflowing inside the land. And and it doesn't keep the water stagnant even, otherwise it will get spoiled or everything. And like lots of thousands of rivers are putting their water, like adding their water every day into the ocean. Still the ocean waters are not overflowing, and nothing is happening. It's just because of moon is situated just at the right distance from the earth, and because of this this distance, the moon this ocean waters are under control, and on the other side there is a gravitational force from Earth's core, so that is pulling inside, and moon is pulling at its side. So that's why because of this, moon is basically attracting the ocean towards it, and the earth is pulling it inside. So that's why this ocean waters are, that's why we can see the waves in the ocean, and that's how it doesn't remain stagnant. Okay. And so this is what we learned last time. And so in the solar system, if there is a Earth's distance, Earth's distance from the sun is 1600 something kilometers, 6371 kilometers, but still and it is 150 million kilometer away from sun. And if the sun if the earth and sun's distance, if you decrease or increase even 1 million or 1,000 kilometer away, or 1,000 kilometer near to the sun, then also we might, if the earth distance is decreased, then we might get burned, or if the earth distance is increased, then we might get frozen. But since the day of creation, this earth and sun's distance is same, constant, it is constant. So it is how everything has come into picture so perfectly, because there is a perfect creator, and he's a perfect scientist, perfect creator, and that's why we can see that whatever we see in the nature, it's just not a chance or coincidence. It's just it is very well perfectly made by a perfect creator. So then we learned about our life, like how we are made, like we are made into the servitor form, because our original form was the servant of Krishna. So in this life we will be servant of anyone, not if not of Krishna, like our dog or our nation or our family. And we all seek relationships. So just like, because we had a relation with Krishna, so we seek for relation, and we seek for possession or proprietorship. So and temporariness pervades this entire world. So we also learned about the science, the science of how this human body, or how anyone's even we saw in the slides, chapter 1, we also saw the slides, like the PowerPoint presentation, in which we saw the figure of the amoeba. And amoeba has a I'll show you quickly so you can have a better idea in the story. So we saw like my last time's lecture is available in the playlist that I have shared on the WhatsApp. And so we learned about this E. coli or amoeba, like E. coli bacteria especially, and okay, so how this is working. that even like its E. coli is a very 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 like minute. It has the motor, this motor which you see at the lower part of his body. It is just 45 nanometer in diameter. So such a small bacteria. So it has a motor, and then there is a rotor here, and then there is a flagella here. So this flagella, it runs at around 100,000 rotations per minute. Per minute it has 100,000 rotations. And because this rotor, this 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 runs, and because of that, this upper part, this also moves. It is just mechanical a device. And so just like a mechanical device, it is set. And then so there are 20 different kinds of parts in such a small organism. It is just a bacteria. So we can imagine that if a single cell E. coli, or this such a small bacteria, is made in such a complicated way that it's not a single cell, it is like it has many components, 20 different kinds of parts, but it's very small. You can see nanometer size of bacteria. So still it has got a flagella, and it can run inside our E. coli, especially stays in human body or something like that. And then so it how it runs inside the body parts, like it's inside our stomach. So it's because of its flagella, it runs at such a speed then that it can just swim inside. So such a small animal also has such a intricate and perfect figure. So what to say about human body? So then we saw about the human brain. It has a capacity to like better. It is much better than the best of supercomputers. And the eyes can see millions of colors. Eye can discriminate, and maybe so many other things. So I can move again to original slide. How to do? And then we saw that our living body is such a miracle that from half of mother cell and half of father cell, there is a and from father, the living entity, like the living entity who is searching for a body, he goes into his father's sperm, and then this sperm is transferred into mother's womb, and there half cell of father and half cell of mother combine, and that gives the like a life is produced in that. And then this life, this being is being grown into a bigger size because of the presence of the soul and the super soul. The soul is all pervading, and it is a powerhouse of energy. So because of the presence of soul, this tiny one cell converts itself into millions of cells, and in our body, like our human body has like millions of cells inside. And that's how this is like how our like a fetus is growing inside a mother's womb is shown here. And like scientists have tried making a self-replicating machine, but still they haven't been able to make a single blade of grass. So uh, so they can make a like self-replicating machine which can produce some machineries again, like, but they cannot make a like a hardware or software can be made. But then they can not make a human or animal or any being or or a plant or like that. And so I think we can. There is a miracle our living body. Yeah, I think we have to study from here. Okay. There are 8.4 million different varieties of species in this world as explained in Padma Purana, one of the Vedic literatures. Each bodily form evolves from a single cell. Let's look at the human body that evolves only from one cell and combination of half mother cell and half father cell at the time of conception. The original cell, through repeated cell division, gives rise to your bones, nails, hair, different body organs, skin, and whatnot. Plants also grow like this. Every form of life, whether insects, birds, reptiles, etc., follow the same process. Have you ever pondered over these observations? How is hair growing on your body? When you cut your hair, you do not feel pain, but when you cut your skin, you feel the pain. Have you ever thought about it? In the same body, you can cut your hair, you can cut your nails, but you can't cut your hand. The miracle is that even if we can observe this process of development of a living body from a single cell, we cannot replicate the process. Scientists can only play with what God has already made, already given. We can use genetic manipulation and produce more fruits and vegetables. We can put more urea in the field and get more yields. This kind of manipulation can do, but we cannot self-replicate the process the way nature replicates. This particular aspect of nature has attracted many thinkers. A self-replicating machine. A self-replicating machine is a construct that is capable of autonomously manufacturing a copy of itself using raw materials taken from its environment, thus exhibiting self-replication in a way analogous to that found in nature. A detailed conception proposal for a physical non-biological self-replicating system was first put forward. So this is non-biological, okay, like a robot or something. But biological self-replicating system nobody can do. Put forward by mathematician John von Neumann in lectures delivered in 1948 and 49, when he proposed a kinematic self-reproducing automaton model as a thought experiment. John von Neumann thus dreams that one day a single automaton, a computing machine with a single memory, will grow in terms of hardware as well as software, such that this machine will be a Nobel Prize winner. This dream has its inspiration in a way. The human body evolves as explained in this section. The human body evolves from one cell, both in terms of hardware and software, that is bodily growth and mental and intellectual growth. So our hardware is body and the software is intellectual mental growth. So can we create a machine that starts from a single automaton, and this machine grows in terms of hardware, in terms of size, and also in terms of software, and in other words becomes intelligent? If we can do so, then one may claim that there is no need of God, or that God is irrelevant entity. However, if such a machine is ever created, it cannot solve most of our problems, especially those related to hunger and food production, which are rated topmost among world development issues. So, so here it is said that we can produce something brainless, or just a machine, or non-biological system, self-reproducing system, but one cannot make a person or a being who can think independently, who is conscious. Conscious being is not been able to made by any of the scientists still. If and it will not be possible for them in future also, because taking soul or giving soul inside is in the jurisdiction of only Krishna and nobody else. Self-replicating machine will not solve food product security problems. Machine do not produce food that will sustain the creation. So food means the grass or the grains, that also has souls. So that cannot be made by scientists. Cow eats grass and gives us milk. If we maintain cows in a healthy manner, food security will be guaranteed. Can I replicate the miracle? So cows are very important animal, and like in our course, this great Leela Purushottam Prabhu said that in Vrindavan there is a Gurukul, and there are 400 children living in ISKCON Gurukul in Vrindavan. So when the land was bought, the new Gurukul is now situated at the place where the Aghasura was killed by Krishna. So Aghasura was a python demon. So he was killed at a place, and that place, because there whenever a demon is killed or something inauspicious is like it's not inauspicious, it's auspicious only, but that place had become so salty that nothing can be grown in that place. That is a barren land. You cannot produce anything in that land. It was like that. Just like if you have seen Dwarka in Gujarat, people say that there is a curse there, and that's why the whole land is salty and nothing can be grown there. But because Krishna left that Dwarka, and there was a curse of Parshuram also on Krishna and Rukmaniji, so that's why also this land is salty. So there is something which is out of our mental imagination, out of our perception. So somehow some places are like that. So where science cannot apply its brain, and we have to believe what the Shastras say as our mother. So so this place is also, Aghasur birthplace is also like that in Vrindavan. Nothing could grow there. So when they bought this land for Gurukul, new Gurukul, that time they saw the condition of the soil, and they thought nothing can be done here. So they thought that anyhow let's start bringing up cows here, so that at least children can get some milk products and like that. So they started growing like the cows there. So they started keeping the cows. So then they called up a person who is expert on the agricultural expert or something, and he was expert in organic farming. So then he told him that you start putting the cow urine, cow dung, and this like panchagavya, cow milk and ghee and everything, yogurt, and that gave this land. And then they started putting all these things inside the land, and they started putting their grains also inside. And in 1 or 2 years, this land it became like a farming land, and currently this barren the land which was previously salty and barren, now it is giving the crops sufficient for feeding 400 children who live in Gurukul. So this is the miracle which cow only can give us. So cow dung is such a precious matter, and then this cow urine also. So in short, this land which was just of no use because of this all cow materials, it became again fertile and very fertile. And we visited last year in December the Gurukul, and we saw that there are beautiful banana trees and very nice field, and the farmers are working there, and rice crops and lots of grains they are growing there, and very beautiful place now. So this is the importance of the cow. And after coming to Australia, we have like forgotten the importance of cow. That's why I thought let us discuss about it here. They consider cow as just one of the animals, and it is just used for eating and nothing else. Can I replicate the miracle? Although one can observe the process of self-replication in nature, one cannot replicate the process. The reason has been explained in Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. The personality of Godhead said, under the supervision of Supreme Lord and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into womb of woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. So this is said in Bhagavatam. Okay, so it is not coming from anywhere, like from us or anything, somebody. It is coming from Bhagavatam. So we have to believe the authority that the male gives the soul. Actually, the soul first comes to male. If you are there in Krishna book, and we read in first chapter of Krishna book, Advent of Krishna, that first or second chapter, how Krishna was born. So Krishna first came into the heart of Vasudeva, and from heart of Vasudeva he was transferred to heart of Devaki, and from heart of Devaki to heart of womb of Devaki, like that he came. So always father is the carrier of the soul, and it transfers to the mother. So that's why at the time of conception it is required that the parents are both in a good consciousness, so that whatever child they beget, it is a very devotee person, like a nice person becomes a good child. Thus, when we cannot replicate even a grass, what can we speak of any higher form of living entity? Machines do not produce food that will sustain the creation. Machines are there to enhance our comfort level. You can use a machine like a tractor that will help you in cultivation. You can create a machine in the form of a motor that will help you to bring water from deep in the ground, but you can't create a machine that will create water. Water has to be taken from nature. Air has to be taken from nature. If we maintain cows in a healthy manner, then food security will be guaranteed. But instead we are worried about self-replicating machines. All these people who are thinking about self-replication, cutting machines, if they would have invested their energy in taking care of cows properly, innocent people would not have been subject to purchasing synthetic milk and impure ghee in the market. Thus, formation of living body is a mystical coupling of a soul, anti-material, with the body, which is material. This forms a substantial portion of subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is what basically the the relationship of soul with the super soul, and how the soul um, acts within the body. So there are such different topics which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So soul is basically anti-material. It is something spiritual. That's why it is called spirit soul, and body is material. So inside a living body there is one thing which is anti-material. Our body is material, and still we are they both coordinate with each other in such a way that we are working in a miraculous way. Our body is itself is a miracle. Answer the following questions based on, okay, you can read that on your own. And there is a in the syllabus that I have shared on WhatsApp, it contains this link to this study material, so you can go anytime and read this study material on your own. And spirit of Bhagavad Gita: is there something beyond matter? The exploding frog. Very often it is assumed that there is a very little beyond what we have seen. Because of our limited experience, we tend to dismiss anything anti-material or anything beyond the matter. Our situation is like that of a frog whose baby one day claimed to have been a very big creature, have seen a very big creature. The mother frog, in its attempt to fathom the size of the creature, began bloating itself, asking the baby frog if the creature was as big as itself now. Each time the frog bloated itself more, the baby would say no, bigger. In that way, the mother frog gradually puffed up, and her body, and when it went beyond the limit, it exploded with a big bang. So here it is shown that somewhere the baby frog, that it might have seen somewhere a human kind, or a bigger being, and she went to the mother, and it said that I have seen a very huge being, a person. So because this frog, she doesn't have any higher consciousness than his, it just has its bodily consciousness only. So she thought that wherever we are living, that's all, that's our world, and there is no world beyond it. So it grew in the size, it bloat its throat like this. You might have seen the frogs always, they bubble, they bloat their throat. So it expanded, and she was asking the child that is it up to like this big, and finally the child said no, not like that, no. Then not that big. Then the mother lasted and then the bubble of this her throat lasted. So this constructive story could well be our own when we get very puffed up of our own limited knowledge and assume that there is nothing beyond the matter. However, our narrow understanding could cripple us just like that exploding frog. What does Bhagavad Gita say? We saw in the lecture section 1 that our body is a mystical coupling of the body that is material and soul that is anti-material. Thus, Bhagavad Gita teaches us about objects consisting of two natures, spirit and matter, in the following manner. The world that we perceive is a place where unlimited jivas, atomic souls, are encaged in 8.4 million bodies. The world is there to help us to rediscover our divinity, to purify our consciousness. All our endeavor must be to ascertain the truth, not to get entangled in ignorance. Distinguishing spirit from matter is the first step in this process. So, thus Bhagavad Gita teaches us about objects consisting of two natures, spirit and matter. So, in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada says that the destination is called the Sanatana sky, the eternal or spiritual sky. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being, stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. So these are the 6 stages of life, and that is the law of material world. Whether we use as an example this body or a piece of fruit or anything, but beyond this temporary world there is another world of which we have information. That world consists of another nature which is Sanatana or eternal, and Lord is also described as Sanatana in the 11th chapter. We have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and because we are all qualitatively one with the Sanatana Supreme Personality of Godhead, the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatana occupation or Sanatana Dharma, which is eternal occupation of the living entity. We are temporarily engaged in different activities, but all of these activities can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up the activities which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord, and that is our pure life. So how to like Bhagavad Gita is basically drawing our attention from the materialistic life to spiritual life and making everything spiritualized. So by converting our material life into the spirituality, we can purify our life and we can aim to go back to Godhead in the spiritual planet, spiritual world. All our endeavor must be to search for absolute truth, not to get entangled in ignorance. Distinguishing spirit from matter is the first step in this process. So the aim of this course will be to motivate you that there is something beyond matter, something spiritual, something eternal, and something timeless which we are made up of. Understanding the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. So how we should understand the Bhagavad Gita? So first of all, before going towards Bhagavad Gita, starting to learn Bhagavad Gita, we should have a mindset that with which we should start studying Bhagavad Gita. So what is the spirit of studying Bhagavad Gita? Spirit 1 is Lord Krishna, the absolute truth. Sri Krishna is the absolute truth, and he is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. Thus the message of Bhagavad Gita is absolute, not subject to any interpretation. Vyasadeva is merely the compiler. You will see in Bhagavad Gita, whenever Krishna speaks, Vyasadeva didn't write Sri Krishna Uvacha. Rather, he writes this as Sri Bhagavana Uvacha. Everybody knows Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, and then why did he write Sri Bhagavana Uvacha? Because he anticipated that a time will come in future when people will ascribe Lord Krishna as mere a human being. Such understanding would minimize the absolute position of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, to prevent such abuse of this great literature, Sri Vyasadeva wisely preserves Lord Krishna's supreme position. Krishna is God himself. That's why Bhagavad Gita is very enduring. It is God's instruction for humanity. Vyasadeva divided Veda into 4 divisions of people, for people of age of Kali. He also wrote Puranas, Itihasas like Mahabharata, and finally he wrote Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. After writing Brahma Sutra, he felt very dissatisfied at heart, and finally, after being guided by his spiritual master, Sri Narada, he gave natural commentary to Brahma Sutra in form of Srimad Bhagavatam. This literature directly narrates the transcendental glories of Lord Krishna in the form of name, activity, form, and abode. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. So Vyasadeva divided Vedas into 4 divisions. Okay, Artha Veda, Rug Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda. Okay, and then for the people of age of Kali, and then he also wrote the Puranas and Itihas like Mahabharata, and finally he wrote Brahma Sutra, okay, or Vedanta Sutra. So what is Bhagavatam is Brahma Sutra's commentary. So Brahma Sutra he felt very dissatisfied at heart, and finally after being so he was very after creating this all Puranas, Upanishads, Vedas and everything, he was still not satisfied. So his spiritual master Narada came, and then he said to Vyasadeva that you haven't described the pastimes and the qualities or name, fame, pastimes and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, and that's why you are so unsatisfied. And so please you make a shastra which contains this all this pastimes between Lord Sri Krishna and his devotees, and pastimes of Lord Krishna, and then he created Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a commentary to Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. So, and this literature narrates the transcendental glories of Lord Krishna in this main thing. And Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita is, so Mahabharata is not included in Bhagavatam, okay, it's a different, it's Itihasa. It is also made by Vyasadeva only, but it comes under Itihasa. Bhagavad Gita is the juice of all Upanishads, hence it is also known as Gita Upanishad. Not only a great Vyasadeva ascertains Lord Krishna to be an absolute truth, all great acharyas, spiritual authorities such as Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also confirm this truth. All the Vedic literature, this truth that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been established by great spiritual authorities like Narada, Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma, Sage Kapila, Prahlada, Janaka, Shukdev Goswami, Manu, 4 Kumaras, Bali Narada, and these are the 12 Mahajanas. So it has been Supreme Personality of Godhead has been established by the great authority, like they have also given their acceptance that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have to, in short, like from this paragraph we learn that Krishna is the absolute truth. So before reading Bhagavad Gita we should have this firm faith in our mind that Lord Krishna is only the absolute truth. So becoming a right thinker. So then next is becoming a right thinker. A right thinker can churn the nectar from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita makes a person think. A person who always acts from a neutral position is a right thinker. Lord Krishna defines such a right thinker in Bhagavad Gita 2.58 as Yada samharate chayam kurma angani va sharvasha indriyani indriyathivas tasya prajna pratishta. One who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in the perfect consciousness. So just like a tortoise, it can withdraw its limbs and it can expand its limbs. In the same way, a person who is self-controlled, such personalities can understand Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna further distinguishes right thinker from those who are very ordinary in Bhagavad Gita. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanni yasya jagrati bhutani ya nisha paschyato manu What is night for all beings is the time for awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is the night for the introspective stage. So we learned this shloka recently in chapter 2, that transcendental sage, whatever a mundane person will do, he will not do, and whatever transcendental sage or sadhu or a person who is always practicing Krishna consciousness, he will do, that will not be followed by a mundane person. So their paths are different, and the right thinker will read Bhagavad Gita. He will try to understand Bhagavad Gita. He will go to a spiritual master and ask questions regarding Krishna and his creation, his tattva, and which is very different from materialistic man. Although Bhagavad Gita is literature for those who can think, anybody who starts taking interest in Bhagavad Gita starts thinking. This is underlying sublime principle by which Bhagavad Gita works. Isn't it a wonderful thing? That is the sublime aspect of Bhagavad Gita. Anybody who will take shelter of Bhagavad Gita, he will become a right thinker. A person who always acts from a neutral position is a right thinker. He is not biased by his selfish mentality, he is not biased by others' selfish mentality, and he is not biased by his own name and fame, and he is not biased by anything. The moment you are biased, you cannot become a right thinker. That is why the yogis of India leave everything, family, home and fame, and enter the caves of Himalayas and take shelter in holy places. There they perform severe austerities and spiritual practices to gain neutrality. Neutral position means neither you have any hatred nor you are partial to anyone. You are able to see everyone as God's dear child. One thinker is sufficient to guide 1,000 people, taking into account that the current population is at 7 billion. We need 7 million people who are educated in Bhagavad Gita. These 7 million thinkers will be able to guide the world of 7 billion in the path of self-enlightenment, prosperity and peace. Then the world will become Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So this is the goal of our dear His Grace Leela Purushottam Prabhu. He wants to make 7 billion people who are this is a very extremely long term thinking, and that's why he is teaching Learn Gita, Live Gita, this platform to each and every individuals, and making them giving them opportunity to become mentor and teach others. So each one can teach 1,000 people in his lifetime by his actions, words, or by actually giving Learn Gita, Live Gita course, or in any other way. One can teach Bhagavad Gita to 1,000 people if he utilizes his time in a proper way, like he is a right thinker. He believes in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's words. So here they have given a bit of maths, like how he wants to spread this Bhagavad Gita consciousness worldwide. So currently, if we take it like if the world population is 7 billion, then we need 7 million people who are educated in Bhagavad Gita, because one can teach 1,000. So 7 million people will be educated. So how to make 7 million right thinker? So that's why we have to like all the mentors who have been passed out from Learn Gita, Live Gita course, they are trying to teach. They have been assigned with 10 students, and these students are future mentors. So as soon as the student is passed out from the Anvita lecturers, he is made a mentor, and like this, each one can teach 1,000 people, and that's how we can make 7 million thinkers who are good at Bhagavad Gita, and they can give education to spread further, and then 7 billion people can become uh, Bhagavad Gita knows, and then we can call Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So this the earth will be family, big family. The real problem is that we don't have right thinkers. Srila Prabhupada once said that every village and every city of India must be converted into Gita Nagari, following in the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi. Thus, we have endeavored to run this Bhagavad Gita correspondence course to reach out to all those who have no opportunity to be properly educated in the science of Bhagavad Gita. So basically in India also we need to um, bring this awareness of reading Bhagavad Gita by making Gita Nagaris in the small villages, small towns where they don't have access to this internet and everything. So currently they have started working on teaching in the schools offline. Like in Mandi they are trying, in the Madhya Pradesh and Kendriya Vidyalaya they have started. So slowly Narendra Modi is also supporting. So they are trying to. Just a moment, I will quickly go and charge that. So um, Spirit 3, building a relationship with God. So how we can understand Bhagavad Gita is, one is by understanding Krishna as the absolute truth, second is by becoming right thinker, thinking in neutrality, and the third is building a relationship with the Lord. Besides being right thinker, one must be the friend, devotee of Lord Krishna. He should have simple faith in Lord Krishna's instructions. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 4.3, Saevayam maya tedya yoga prokta parantapa bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyamete hieta uttamam. That very ancient science of the relationship with Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So Krishna is the god of relationships. So we saw in Bhagavad Gita that we can saw Krishna in passive mode, active mode, or in the friend mode, or in the parental mode, or in the lover mode. So there are different kinds of relationship we can have with Krishna. So and by establishing such relationship with Krishna, we can easily understand Bhagavad Gita. So that is one aspect of learning Bhagavad Gita. One must accept Bhagavad Gita as it is, as Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna, no addition or no deletion to his instruction. As Srila Prabhupada says in the introduction, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. It is just like this: if we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to follow the directions written on the label. We cannot take medicine according to our own whim or direction of our friend. It must be taken according to direction on the label of the or the direction given by the physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is described by the speaker himself. Ultimately, Lord Krishna will reveal this knowledge to us if we are sincerely surrendered unto Him. He is there within our hearts, and He will reveal this knowledge as we hear from the bona fide spiritual master. That is why in this correspondence course we will follow Bhagavad Gita as it is by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, as the textbook. So keeping Bhagavad Gita in mind as a textbook, we are this course has been made. This Bhagavad Gita has revolutionized hearts of millions across the globe. Srila Prabhupada is against the idea of using selected verses from Bhagavad Gita to put forth one's misdirected ideas. There are 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita, and one must accept all verses just like as per your medical prescription. You have to accept all medicines. You cannot reject one and accept another. So all the shlokas are important as per Srila Prabhupada. So we should read Bhagavad Gita fully. Subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita deals with 5 subject matters which are as follows: the Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Prakriti, Karma. So these are the 5 subject matters which are described in Bhagavad Gita. We saw in introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Among these 5 topics, Lord Krishna deals mostly with 5th topic, Karma. Karma means the form of duty that liberates us from the influence of ignorance. Thus, Lord Krishna describes duties in the form of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The yoga system that is spoken in Bhagavad Gita is duty, because anything that is duty must connect you to Lord Krishna. You are doing something but you are not getting connected to Lord Krishna. That means you are wasting your human life. So this is the most talked about subject in Bhagavad Gita. We all must be situated in yoga system. And according to Bhagavad Gita, the highest form of yoga is Bhakti Yoga. So although we do like lots of karma every day, lots of duties every day, but if we don't connect our duties to Krishna, then it's not we are not following Bhagavad Gita, or it's not called yoga. So yoga is connecting all our soul's activities to super soul, or dedicating everything to Krishna. So if we are cooking, then we should offer the offerings to Krishna and make it into prasad and eat it. If we are earning, then we should give some money to Krishna in Krishna's service, or giving out to children who are trying to study the academics or the spiritual academics, or other places like distributing Bhagavad Gita or like that. So we should give our time, money, our skills, everything to Krishna's service. Then only we can understand Bhagavad Gita. And definition of God. Parashara Muni in Vishnu Purana gave definition of Bhagavan. He said that Bhagavan is that person who possesses 6 opulences in full: all beauty, all wealth, all power, all knowledge, all fame, and all renunciation. Here they have given a picture. So here all beauty, he is the most beautiful. All wealth in Vaikuntha Loka, yes, he is there, and millions of like there are millions of Gopa friends, and like they are serving Krishna, and under each of these millions of Gopa friends, there are again like millions of their servants. So material world is just 1/4 of the spiritual world. So most of the sky is spiritual. So whatever population we can see in this material world is just 1/4. So lots of servants in Krishna's spiritual world. So he is most wealthiest. And obviously all the planetary system, whole universe is created by him. All strength, you can see lifting over the mountain on his left hand, pinky finger. So he was very most like strength, very powerful personality. all knowledge, supreme knowledge he given to Arjuna, he gave to Arjuna in his Bhagavad Gita, all fame. And Krishna is most famous. Like we saw Asita Devalana, Vyasa, and all the sages are considering, have accepted Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, also the 12 Mahajanas. We are not cared about the today's scientists and materialistic people. They don't believe in Krishna. So, but all the Vedas, Puranas, and everything, they have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's all famous. And all renunciation, like he accepted the duty of as a chariot driver, a menial chariot driver, for his devotee and his greatest devotee Arjuna. So for his devotee he can become a servant of his devotee. So that is his renunciation. And when the time came, he left Vrindavan, then Mathura also, he went to Dwarka. So he never kept anything with himself. He just came for giving love to everyone. Conclusion. Bhagavad Gita is a complete science of both spirit and matter from a holistic perspective. This book provides timeless science that is applicable to every human race in every corner of society. Bhagavad Gita informs us that we are tiny divine particles having the same quality as the absolute divinity Lord Krishna. Daily breathing in the message of Bhagavad Gita will help us to revive our divinity, spiritual qualities. There has been so there is a verse in Bhagavatam, Nashta Prayasho Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavat Seva. So one should read Bhagavad Gita, one verse at least every day. Try to read, and then our life will be very sublime. And because by chanting attentively, and along with that, reading one verse or two verses of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, will purify our heart. So, Nashta Prayasho Abhadresho. So, all the inauspiciousness goes away, and we can establish ourselves in the God's service. So, that's how we can progress towards spirituality. There has been debate among intellectuals about the chemical origin of life or life eternal. Bhagavad Gita speaks of the latter. Our empirical observations show that the matter comes from life, not vice versa. So this is what we learned in this this particular lesson, right? Because that how life comes into picture. Like the soul is there. People are saying that the the science says that up to 3 months, the fetus inside the mother's womb, it's unconscious. The consciousness is not there. But what Vedas say that father gives the soul to mother right at the time of conception. So the soul is there from the day one, even before that. Right? Before the half cell of mother and father combines, that before that time, the soul is there already. So from the life, matter comes. Then it grows into the body. So, but what scientists say that matter is the main thing. So this is the difference between Veda and science. We are servants. Who is the master? Bhagavad Gita answers this question very, very lucidly. Lord Krishna is the only master. He is also known by different traditions as Allah, Jehovah, God, etc. We crave for relationships, but all of them are temporary. Some of them are even source of agony. Bhagavad Gita answers the nature of this pure relationship and its shelter. When we connect ourselves in yoga system with Lord Krishna, we establish our divine relationship with Him. This in turn makes our filial or worldly relationships also divine. Everything here is temporary. What is permanent? Bhagavad Gita again provides a wonderful answer stating that the shelter of Lord, His abode, and His devotional service are eternal. Yet gatva na nivartanti tad dhama karma. Krishna says, न तद भास्यते सूर्य न शशांको न पावक yet gatva na nivartanti tad dhama karma. So what is Krishna's eternal abode? It doesn't contain any, it doesn't need any sunlight, moonlight or electricity. And where one goes, he never comes back. So that is our final destination. We are here in this material world because we want to become God. Suppose you have created a robot, you will make all planning in such a way that this robot will follow you. Would you like a robot that will revolt against you? So that is the difference between you and God. God has created you but has given you freedom as well. It is up to you to utilize your freedom, to use your free will, to accept God or reject God. He is your loving Father after. So if we make a machine, we will claim and will nowadays they do a patent also that this is made by me only, nobody else can make it. So but God is different. He has made us and He has given us freedom. Okay, fine, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, I will give you, I will provide all the facilities to you, I will maintain you. But one day you will remember me and you will come to me. So He is that loving Father of us. Okay. Thus Bhagavad Gita is that timeless science which has answers to all our thought-provoking queries. Okay. So this ends lesson 1. So shall we move to lesson 2? A little bit.
How long will it take, Mataji?
Maybe just 10 minutes we'll do, we'll start and then what you say? Up to 9 o'clock we can do. So
Okay, yeah, okay, no problem.
we have less time now. Okay. Lesson 2 is Krishna, the concept of infinity. Introduction. One of the 5 topics discussed in Bhagavad Gita is God. So now we are seeing about God. This lesson is about God. This lesson is all about God. Does God exist? Those who do agree that He exists also say that God is great. How great is He? That is something that very few people know. God is infinite. Everybody knows what is the measure of this infiniteness. Hardly one knows in this lesson. Hardly one knows. In this lesson, we will provide some empirical evidence to establish the existence of God. Then the authority of holy scriptures and holy seers will be invoked further, substantiating the existence of the God. In process of understanding the concept of infinity, we will establish how the Krishna concept of God, infiniteness, is absolute. These topics will be dealt with within this lesson based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Does God exist? Whether God exists or not is a fundamental question facing mankind today. What was accepted commonly as a fact in a bygone ages is now being increasingly questioned. In following presentation, we'll discuss some of the logical reasons proving of the existence of the God. Okay, here it is said, God, if you really existed, you will reveal yourself to me. So this is how Krishna keeps us under his shelter, but we don't realize. So there is a story, empirical evidence too. Evidence, perfect design. Story of Newton's solar system model. We'll see the story and we'll close it. Um, a friend of Sir Isaac Newton came over for dinner. His friend was an atheist, while he was a monotheist, raised a Christian, but denounced the Trinity as it opposed one God. So Sir Isaac Newton came over for dinner, and his friend was an atheist, and this Sir Isaac Newton, he is a monotheist. So he left the Christianity just because um, it was opposing the presence of just one God who is ruling all over the world. So he's a theist, and his friend was atheist. They often got into debates. While Newton was preparing dinner, his friend noticed an extraordinary model of the solar system Isaac had made in his library bookshelf. His friend was amazed and asked him who made it and where it came from. Sir Isaac Newton responded uh, coyly that nobody had made it and that it just happened to appear. His friend, confused and irritated, reported, "You must think, you must think I am a fool. Of course, somebody made it, and he is a genius." Newton then spoke to his friend in a polite yet firm way. "This thing is but a puny imitation of a much grander system whose laws you know, and I am not able to convince you that this mere toy is without a design or maker. Yet you profess to believe that the great original form which the design is taken has came into being without either designer or maker. Now tell me, by what sort of reasoning do you reach such an incongruous conclusion?" So he, his friend saw such a tiny model, and he said that there must be a creator. And then Sir Isaac Newton said that for this tiny model, if you are saying that there must be a creator, then how you are not able to believe that such a vast creation, endless creation, which is made so perfectly, has no creator? So how you can believe like that? It's unbelievable. So then his friend got understood the thing, and then he diverted his mind from atheism. So we will learn this solar system tomorrow. Thank you so much. Anyone has questions?
No, Mataji, no questions today.
Rohin, you have any question?
No.
No. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. See you all tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.